Hey everybody, welcome back to Mario 64, and today we're going to tackle the last level on the first floor.
Hello everybody, I'm Ryu. I'm gonna be guesting with Artix as he goes through the Bowser fight. I see we are going for the wing cap.
Yeah, like I said, as you can see, there are red coins scattered around if you really care enough to follow the trail there, but basically, if you don't start on that immediately as soon as you enter the stage, you've already missed it, so...
I mean, you can come back and recover, but it takes more effort than it's worth.
Believe me, we will have plenty of opportunities to get stars beyond this, so...
Yep.
So we'll just go ahead and hurl ourselves right off that tower.
I usually do that with a little more finesse, but I understand just quitting.
Alright, so today we are going to tackle Cool Mountain.
So it's got a lot of fun stars to pick up. What with the slide and the race and the missing penguin baby.
Yeah, it's also, like I said, this is also our introduction to ice physics, which are... okay? I mean, they're not the worst implementation in the world, but as you can see, it's pretty slippery.
Yeah. You're just bouncing everywhere. It's... If you don't land just right, you can completely screw yourself over for a landing. So you've got to be very precise. I do love the very relaxed music for this section though.
Like you said, like we said in the last video, the soundtrack is very nice. It's
oh yeah.
They definitely know how to go for the right mood.
Yeah. This is a very calming track for a very casual sort of, fun slide. That's really not, it's a very easy start, it's a very fun. And you seem to be butt slamming yourself just high enough to always take damage.
Well, I do try very hard to showcase my incompetence at all times.
But yeah, that was a very simple star, and yep, and as usual, Mario has a celebratory leap.
It's one of those weird things. Fortunately, now we get to turn around and do the slide again. But this time we're not going to be cheating.
Oh well, he doesn't like it when you cheat. I think you can slip past him in cheating, and if he doesn't actually see you, you can win that way, but you've got to be clever with it. Also, the soundtrack is changed, because now it's a race. You got to be paying attention, so it's got you pumped up.
Yeah, that's, like I said, they actually do a very good job with the dynamic soundtrack for, this. You say not as good of a job as, say, Banjo-Kazooie does, but...
I mean, Banjo-Kazooie was later on. It was building off of a lot of stuff that this built up initially.
Yeah, so I don't really hold it against them this time around.
There always has to be an innovator that doesn't do it quite as well as who comes before, but they're innovating.
They gotta lay the foundation for what would come later.
Yeah. Like Chaucer for Shakespeare.
As a side note, it is super obnoxious that there are so many coins on the slide there, because if you get the 100 coin star, you have to do the slide first, because otherwise there are literally not enough outside the level, and you'll end up spawning the star on, you'll spawn it on the slide, and there's no way to get it at that point.
Yeah, because you can't, if you come back in after exiting, it's not there anymore.
And, of course, I fell inside the slide again, so I just quit the level.
I mean, that's just the ice physics. If you screw up your jump, you're just gonna be bouncing everywhere.
So hey, do you like penguins?
I do, but I don't like penguins that cry almost exactly like Baby Mario.
I never noticed that until right now. I never connected those two sounds. Thanks, Ryu. That's great. I appreciate that.
You are welcome. I mean, it's not quite as bad as Baby Mario, but I do think it's the same sound clip pitched down.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, so these snowmen are not really anything to worry about. And as long as you just gotta get the thing down here, one way or another.
I do know that I've done this occasionally by just leaping off the entire side of the mountain and trusting at the very last second.
Yeah, that's a totally valid strategy for doing that. It's not recommended, because it is super easy to lose the penguin that way, but...
Yep, it's also very easy to kill yourself through fall damage. But you play the game often enough, you start deciding to take risks just because you can.
So the last star we're going to get here is wall kicks. Will work, but we need to activate the cannon first, which means we have to navigate this little death trap here.
This is always, like, it's an interesting sort of gimmick, that it's an interesting thing that they put in, but it is, from a design perspective, it's a very interesting thing, but from a gameplay perspective, it's a horrible thing to have put in. That tiny platform that's easy to fall off of, and then you have to jump onto the tiny platform that is, again, very easy to fall off of.
You say, I was trying to just do a long jump right over to the other side, but unfortunately, again, with the ice physics, I just walked right off the edge. And unfortunately, there are certain surfaces, like anything that is even slightly sloped, that Mario will not grab, no matter what, so...
Yeah. This shot of faith. I know a couple of times I completely overshot it. Just flew to my death.
Yeah, that shot's fun because you can overshoot it and undershoot it, and both will kill you. Anyway, this is the closest thing that the game gives you to a wall jump tutorial. It is a very, very finicky mechanic, and it is... I don't know how much it really improves the game to have it.
I mean, I've seen some high-end plays, but it doesn't... In normal play, it doesn't necessarily increase your options.
Like, you can do some really cool shit with it, but it's still... it's one of those things that just, it's not explained at all, and it's just done really poorly.
I wouldn't say it is a necessary mechanic by any means. But there's a lot of things in this game that aren't necessary that they decided to put in anyways. And they're really interesting.
So here we are, the first Bowser level. Say, unlike the more open world type things throughout the rest of the game, the Bowser levels are almost universally these very, very long, very straightforward platforming sequences.
And you're almost always heading up and over yourself repeatedly. Like, you don't keep stretching off into infinity, you're sort of climbing a tower.
Yeah, and that goes both ways. I mean, it's good from a design perspective because you can kind of catch yourself if you do happen to fuck up, but then you gotta turn around and just climb the whole damn thing again.
Yeah. It does give you a lot of different ways to, play with your design and add in elements from previous stages. You can play with your long jumps and your triple jumps and, think of new ways to have switches and balance boards that you've introduced.
I think this is probably, of the 3 Bowser levels, the best one.
I would agree. I think it's the one that they spent the most time perfecting. Because they wanted it to be that perfect sweet spot of challenge, for the new player. Whereas the other ones, they were like, okay, they've definitely got it by now. We can start, just making it harder without necessarily making it more fun.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the lava mechanic at all, to be completely honest, so Bowser in the Fire Sea is just trash as far as I'm concerned, and I don't know, the last Bowser one is okay, but it's still not as good as the first. So yeah, here's the Bowser fight. It's,
Yeah, it's a really good, I think, not just because it acts as an introduction to Bowser's fights, because he has the same basic mechanics for all of the fights you have, but he's also building off of everything that you've tested in previous boss fights. Like, from the very first fight, you've been trying to get behind and, make sure that you're avoiding the front rushes. So you need to find the gap and make your attack then when Bowser isn't expecting it.
Yeah, well, plus Bowser's tracking is pretty good, so you gotta... I mean, again, this is one of those things that gets a lot better later in the game, but especially early on, he's got much better tracking than like the Bob-omb King did. So,
oh yeah, but he's not. He's got a couple of blind spots specifically programmed into this fight. So if you keep up the pressure, you'll definitely be able to get around him and slip past.
And of course, like I said, like the Bob-omb King told us, all you gotta do is get behind him and you're good.
Yeah. I mean, he's got some power. He can do some straight line rush. All you gotta do is keep on your toes, keep moving, and be ready for what he sends your way.
You say, unlike the, I don't say he does have a rushing attack, which, like I said, and you don't want to, you do want to play it close, because he does 3 damage a pop every time he hits you.
Oh yeah. But sometimes, if you can avoid that, he will be completely open, and you can just grab him and throw him.
But yeah, that's it, that's the fight.
Yeah. And I do think that is a great tutorial for how the other 2 Bowser fights work. And now for the rest of the game.